My name's Frank Grove. I've been a member at Crestview Church for a long time, since 1964. I even went to the little church on 9th Street when we had the church where we're at. And but anyway, this past year things kind of went south on me. I really had a good life. I'd never been sick. And the only thing I had done is I had prostate cancer back in '96. And that's the only thing that's been wrong with me. Anyway, that last April, a year ago, I got 8 cubic yards of mulch. And I put that out. It took 2 days. I used to be able to do it in 1 day, but I couldn't do it. I just didn't feel quite right. So all at once I noticed I was losing weight fast. And just kept feeling bad. And decided that it's going to take me to the doctor, but they said, we're going to take you to the hospital. Well, they thought I had COVID, and they took the test, and of course it took a day and a half or so to get that back. And in the meantime, they took blood samples, and all at once they find out that I had an adrenaline gland that wasn't working right. So my sodium went way down beyond what it should have been, and it really just sapped all the energy out of me. And they said I should have passed out, and if I had passed out, I might not have woke up. And they found out I did not have COVID, and they had me in the COVID section, and they got me out of there really quick. I mean, I don't even know if I got everything I had in there when I come out of there, but I had another issue, and they found out I had a fungus in my bloodstream, and they sent me to an infectious disease doctor, and she said that probably was what caused my issue to start with, because if you had a weak spot, that's where that fungus attacked. The medicine she put me on was pretty potent. It was tough. It just wasn't easy on your body. She said, in order to get rid of this, you're going to have to try to tolerate 2 tablets, evening and morning. So I did, and she got rid of it, and she tells me it won't come back. During taking those pills and antibiotics, I got really bad mouth sores. And so the doctor started treating that, trying to get rid of them, and they thought, well, maybe you better go see a specialist. And he said, well, the good thing is your sores are getting better. They're not well yet, but they're going to be all right. But he said, how long you had these nodules on your neck? I said, what? He said, yeah, you got some nodules on your neck. I said, well, I just shaved a little bit ago and I didn't notice anything. And anyway, they decided they needed to do a biopsy, and sure enough, they come back and they said it was mantle cell lymphoma. So they sent me to a cancer doctor to check the fluid in my back, and so they did, and it was clear. So if it would have come back, it was showing I had cancer elsewhere, I would have had to keep chemo, but they didn't, and so they was able to treat it with radiation. And I tell you what, I had 18 radiations done 5 days a week, and the last 3 I just had to make myself go in because I was wore out. I was just exhausted. And but they got rid of the cancer, had tests to run the dye through me again, and it came back, everything was negative. So praise the Lord for that. I thought I was over the hump, because everything was going to be all right. Well, something happened. I don't know where I had a heart attack at home, but I ended up down in my living room on the floor. I don't know where I hit something, but I guess I bled over the floor, and they think I laid there 6 to 8 hours. And what was weird, I could hear the phone, but I could not get up to answer it. Just couldn't get up. They broke the door down and got in, and got me to the hospital. And I guess that's one of the things that was in December. And the weird thing about that is I don't remember being in the hospital till the time I went, till the time I got home. I could not tell you anything they did in the hospital. But the bad thing is they give me something that I don't want anymore, that I I could see stuff crawling around on the floor that wasn't there. And I thought, man, this is not good. I even thought I saw a cat. I was trying to feed a cat, the kid said. So, and it wasn't there. And I went back to see my regular doctor, and he was looking at all the stuff, and he said, "Yeah, did they tell you you had a heart attack?" I said, "No, they didn't. I didn't realize that." And they put me on a regimen of medicine, and I started feeling better, and then they decided I either had to have open heart surgery or do a heart cath. So they decided it was the best treatment for me was to put 5 stents in. And I said, well, I'm going to do the stents. That's what I said. I prayed about it, and that's kind of what God's told me to do. And they said, well, are you sure? I said, well, I think God's took care of me this long. He's going to keep taking care of me. And I got the stents, and it did fine. So I just hope the stents last a long time. But, God's been good. He's been good to me, but it's a hard time when you have to isolate. And another thing that really helped me was being able to watch the church service on TV. That was a blessing, and so that made a big difference. And feeling pretty good. And I even been able to go over to church and help mow the yard a couple of times. So that's a blessing. So I just thank God for the children and the care I got. I'm so thankful for the cards and the prayers of all the people at church. I had a lot of people in a lot of different states praying for me. So that's, I think that's, one of the things that makes a big difference. When people pray, God listens. I knew God was with me. I've been accepted Christ, my wife and I both, back in 1964, and we, you learn to depend on Him. That many years, you start knowing that God's with you, and you have to depend on Him, and that's what I did. I had to say, God, help me through this.